just down the street from our studios at Sam Boyd Stadium, the Las Vegas Bowl, a great matchup. Oregon and Boise this Saturday. I'm Ralph Michaels. This is WagerTalk.com, joined with Preston and Marco. Justin Herbert with 6 games that he started and finished. Oregon, 566 yards per game. The 5 games he doesn't play that he's injured, 320 yards per game. He's back in this one. Is Oregon that good?
They are really good. So when he played, they lost 1 game, and I think it was at Arizona State, and they still got 36 or something. I think they lost by 3, though. He's been fantastic. The offense, I think it's averaging almost 50 points a game with Herbert at quarterback, and it was a very similar thing the year prior when he took over for good mid-season. Their offense immediately was about twice as good. So I think he's a big difference maker. The number, and I don't think Boise State's very talented or good this year. They've kind of just fallen off, which you expected after Peterson left. My number to this game was 10.5, and I bet -5.5 Oregon early on. I liked it a lot. Then Taggart stuff happened. It had moved to 7.5, 8 everywhere. Taggart leaves. It's kind of crept back down to 7 now, flat. I still like Oregon at 7. That was kind of my recommendation that I gave to people was, bet it up to 7. Freeman's questionable, and I think Marco has a comment he's going to refer to on that. But I still think Oregon's the right side. The number, it's one of my bigger discrepancies. Like I said, if I land a number at 10.5 and I get under a 7, that's a pretty massive edge. And in this case, even without Taggart, I know the players are pretty pumped for the Cristobal, I think is how you say his last name, who's taken over. He's been there already. And so they're motivated, and I think you're going to get the best Oregon team in offense this Saturday.
I agree. When you have those coaching changes, you never know how the kids are going to react. But with the early signing period now in December, these teams have to make decisions quicker. Mario Cristobal obviously was, I believe, an FIU head coach. He was a Miami Hurricanes linebacker coach in D.C. Fans and players are excited to have him. Does that affect your handicap on this game?
Well, I'm on Oregon, so that's good to hear because you never really can truly understand what the players are thinking. And on the surface, when you first would look at it, you would say, if you're the Oregon team, you would have to be disappointed. You got your coach. The team was going in a right direction this year, definitely back on the way to the top. And without the injury to Herbert, this is a team that probably wins the Pac-12 championship. I mean, the way they were playing with him, the 2 games he come back after missing all those weeks in a row, I think he missed 4 or 5 games, he comes back and the team immediately puts up 48 and 69 points in the last 2 games. The thing about it is the running back's a little bit of a concern, and this is something that we started to see this precedent last year with all the guys skipping bowl games that didn't have national championship implications. And what it does is, with the new setup, further belittle some of these other bowl games, and it's a bad practice. I can understand these kids don't want to get hurt and risk their draft status, but on the same token, what's that say for your team? Being a team player, I know it's your future, but you can get an insurance policy too against injury. Players have done it all the time. So I'm not a big fan of that. I know you guys might have a different opinion. You want to talk about a sidebar with coaches. The Boise coach might have a little axe to grind here because he interviewed last year for the Oregon job, and he was bypassed for Taggart. So now getting a chance to play Oregon, that's going to be 1+ motivation-wise for them. The site favors Boise State because Boise State plays in the Mountain West, so they come to Vegas, every other year. They're usually here, and it's a situation where Vegas does have a lot of distractions, and being here is an advantage not to get sidetracked. But with the players and the coaching situation, I don't think we have to worry about that with Oregon. They have too much talent for Boise in this game, and if they bring their A game, which I think they're going to do, I have them winning by 2 touchdowns in this game.
More of a concern, the Royce Freeman thing. We had, 2 running backs sit out, and why the running backs think they're the only ones that may get hurt, well, we don't know with Fournette last year who started it. But keep an eye on Boise State's running back, Alec Madison. He had 1,074 yards this year. He had more rush yards than the rest of the Boise team combined. He's questionable as well with an injury, not sitting out. So if Madison can't go for Boise, jump on that Oregon number as soon as you can. Marco's best bet, Oregon minus the points. Folks, in a few years, I think we're going to be talking about this Las Vegas Bowl as being part of the playoff championship once the new Raiders Stadium is built. It's going to be an exciting new bowl in a few years. But for this one, Oregon minus 7, Marco's best bet. Bowl package is $295. That's the normal price at WagerTalk.com. Right now, get any handicapper just $195. Every bowl play they have, including those 5% plays, WagerTalk.com.